We are sitting in My Three Sons. It is a family-owned Gullah-Geechee slash soul food restaurant in North Charleston, South Carolina. They do a very good job of showing you the breadth of what Gullah-Geechee food is. And a lot of times people don't realize that what we think of as soul food, the foundation of that is Gullah-Geechee. What's up?
Welcome to My Three Sons.
Appreciate you. This looks really good.
We got some white ink filet,
Gotta have it.
some seafood rice,
It's one of my favorites right here.
mama's cornbread, Gramps okra soup. And of course, you can't come to Charleston without getting red.
Right. Appreciate you, brother. I'm about to say, yeah, go ahead and lead that. I am KJ Kearney. I'm a native of North Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a community organizer and a James Beard Award winning food writer. I have an account called Black Food Fridays, and I talk about black food history and black people in the culinary space like Antoine and My Three Sons.
And there's the Barack.
There we go. My man, appreciate you. So just looking at some of the food that's before us, there are a couple of items that really stand out in terms of quintessential Gullah-Geechee cuisine. First and foremost, I would say is the red rice. I wrote the proclamation for Red Rice Day in 2018 for the city of Charleston. And red rice is just basically Gullah-Geechee's version of jollof rice. Jollof rice is a West African dish. It's tomato based. The number one thing that makes Charleston cuisine stand out from other places is the land around us, right? My ancestors were brought here because of their knowledge of rice and how to cultivate rice. What a lot of people don't know is that rice, not cotton, was the thing that was being cultivated that made Charleston the wealthiest city during the time of the 13 colonies. Not cotton, not okra, not nothing else. It was rice. So we have a lot of experience with it. And I think just, to be honest, we do rice the best down here. What we like to do is we like our rice to, they say, stand up, right? We like our grains to be individual, not like a sticky rice. Although sticky rice is fine, that's just not how we do it down here. And so we're very particular about that. Dedication to learning how to cook rice permeates into everything else that we do. There's a level of ingenuity that goes with the cuisine that to the normal person, they just eating and it just tastes good. Another thing that I see on the table that I think is quintessential Gullah-Geechee is the okra, right? A lot of people don't know that okra is in the same family as cotton and hibiscus, same exact family. And so you can do things with the pod, you can eat it dry, you can eat it raw, you can, put it in a stew like, a lot of people do. They do an okra stew here. It's a great thickener. I actually make lemonade out of okra water. The mucus of okra and how to turn that into something delicious. That's not an accident. That's institutional knowledge, and that comes from practice. And then last but not least, shrimp or grits. I mean, that is a Charleston invention. That is a Gullah-Geechee invention. The Native Americans, they were doing grits way before us. But we took the grits and the abundance of seafood that was around us, put those two things together, and we made a hit, man. We are the foundation of what soul food is in this country, period. We wasn't eating this necessarily because we ain't had nothing else. This was our food way. When we were in Africa, we ain't waste nothing. When we got here, we didn't waste nothing. But think about this at the time, right? Crabs were everywhere, right? Shrimp was everywhere. It wasn't an industry yet. There weren't restaurants, right? So you can just go to the water. It was everywhere. So just because certain people weren't eating it didn't mean that it wasn't a delicacy, right? So it wasn't like we stretched the seafood. It was everywhere, right? Rice, again, we was growing it. It was everywhere. So there were other dishes, right, within the canon of soul food that maybe you did have to stretch, like a chitlin or a pig feet or something like that. But even still, it wasn't stretch in their mind. They were just being sustainable before we gave it a word. Soul food is definitely food of love, but it's also history. And the further we get away from our food, what I mean by that is we're not growing our rice anymore. We're not slaughtering our own hogs anymore. So the further we get away from our connection with food, the less it becomes about the history and the more it becomes about the celebration or the sustenance, right? So it's our fault that we are now just associating soul food with comfort and good times and not hard work, not ingenuity. That's on us. That's not on our ancestors. It's an oxtail focaccia, bro. This is one of the most gorgeous pieces of bread I've ever seen in my life. I would say that my passion for Black Food Fridays stems from my work as a community organizer. But when COVID shut the world down, I realized that, you know, they say when the world catch a cold, Black people catch the flu. I knew that our businesses were going to be hit hardest, and I didn't know what I could do to support. So I figured the least I could do is let people know where they can go eat. Because every time my family comes to town or my friends want to know where to eat, they calling me. So I created this little list on Google Maps. It got shared like 9,000 times. I didn't even know your maps could be shared that many times. And then when the world shut down, I took that list, I basically put it on Instagram, and then the rest is history. But it is interesting to be a native and to see so many people suddenly care about the culture. That is new. I do think that we have to protect from people creating new narratives about our culture. And the only way that we can stop them from doing that is if we are vigilant. And the only way you're gonna be vigilant is if you believe that this is yours to watch. This is yours to take care. That doesn't mean that we stop innovating. It doesn't mean that we stop growing and adapting and creating new recipes and new traditions, but we do have to own the ones that already exist. Otherwise, somebody's going to move down from Ohio and they're going to make their own story about what red rice is.